Welcome back, everybody, and today we're gonna rip apart this old Milwaukee trailer or truck or whatever it is. Yeah, it's definitely a box off of a truck. At first I thought it might be a trailer when I first bought it, but it's definitely a truck piece. This is a pretty neat piece. The video of where I bought this will be on the main channel. It was an old junkyard that's been abandoned for a number of years, and it was going on the tax sale, and so he called me and said, hey, there's a bunch of stuff here, but I'm gonna rip this apart with the excavator. And I was thinking, you know, it'd be kind of interesting to see what this thing scraps out for. I don't know the exact weight on just this box by itself. The load that I hauled this home on, it was probably somewhere in the neighborhood of, I'd say 13,000 pounds, maybe 14,000 pounds total weight. But I also had a heavy iron winch bed, well actually that bed right there, and I had the winch and headache rack and all that came off of this bed. I sent that into the shredder already. And then I had a small car, a couple other things. And so, I mean, I had a lot of stuff on the trailer with this box, but I would guess this box weighs somewhere in the neighborhood of 7,000 to 8,000 pounds. And so if I just sent this box in just like it is, if I just ripped it all apart and smashed it in the iron box, I would get somewhere in the neighborhood of $700 or $800. I paid $400 for it, and then I've got all my time of getting it out of the trees, getting it loaded, hauling it home, unloading it, and then now ripping it apart. However, all of these doors right here, these are all aluminum. You can kind of see here and there in little places. I'm trying to find a better spot where you can actually see, yeah, you can kind of see right there. This is all aluminum. And these are pretty thick slats. Each of these is pretty thick. And then also the roof is aluminum as well. And so, I mean, there's probably gonna be, I'm guessing, somewhere in the neighborhood of about 605 to 700 pounds, probably around 600 pounds of mostly clean aluminum. Obviously, it's not completely clean. Some places kind of complain when there's a bunch of paint on them like this. Yeah, you can see this in here. I mean, that's taken a pretty good hit, and it's still not even all the way through the aluminum. And it's also gonna be sheet aluminum. I'm not gonna bother cutting it down. And so I'm guessing there's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about, $200 to $300 worth of aluminum. But there's only one way to find out, and that's to get the equipment out and go ahead and rip it apart and see what it all comes out to. Now, I am gonna do a couple other little extra things to this. I thought about trying to save this old Milwaukee setup. The problem is that it's on two different doors, and they don't really line up. Like these slats here don't line up with these slats. So it's not like I can save just the slats because they're offset. And then this piece here in the middle has part of the logo on it. And so I just don't see any good way of saving this, not without a boatload of work. And I just feel like it wouldn't be worth that much money. That being said, I think I can save the beer part of this. I think because that's just one slat. I think I can take my cutoff wheel and I can cut there, and I can cut there, and then I can cut above it, below it, and cut all these. And I can save just this portion of this slat. Same thing on the other side. The front and back on this trailer are all steel. This logo is pretty far gone. If it was a little bit more there, these panels wouldn't be hard to take a drill and drill all these rivets and then kind of cut it somewhere down about here. But like I say, it just doesn't look, I mean, a guy could probably get $100 out of it, but I have a lot to do. And so I don't know that it would be worth it, because then after that, I have to list it for sale and I have to meet people. And I'm gonna have a lot of time invested in a maybe $100. So, I mean, like I said, that's a maybe. If the logo was still on this door better, I would go ahead and save that whole door, but it's not, so not gonna worry about that. This side, once again, I thought about cutting around the old Milwaukee, but once again, I'm gonna have quite a bit of time invested in cutting that off of there. If I just rip this thing apart and put it in the box, I'm gonna have probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 minutes invested into it. So I guess first things first, we're gonna go ahead and get out the cutoff wheel and see if I can salvage these two beer pieces. I've got this metal cutoff wheel on here, and it does pretty good for cutting off noses. The problem is as you can see there, it doesn't stick out very far from the cutoff wheel. And so cutting through that thick aluminum over there might be a challenge. So I'm gonna switch back over to a regular disc that gives me a little bit more reach. That way I can make sure I cut all the way through that aluminum. As far as the rest of it, once I get the pieces off that I wanna keep, the excavator will make short work of everything on there. Well, I don't know, this may not work. I don't know what's going on with my battery. It says it was fully charged. I start using it. It starts flashing all 4 lights, and then it says 1 bar, and then I quit using it for a minute. Now it says 2 bars. So my battery may have gave out on me. And of course, all my other batteries I know are dead, and I have them at home on the charger. I forgot to charge them last night. And so this is my one and only battery, and I didn't think it was a big deal because it said it was fully charged. I mean, I got this side cut, but there's no way this thing's gonna last for all the other cuts I gotta make. So I don't know. All right, as you can see, it is off. I don't know. Let's see where it got put. It's got to be around here somewhere. I had a company call me and they had some stuff they wanted to sell right now, so I had to go do that. It's one of those deals where I can't really film any of it. Liability reasons, I guess. I don't know. They just said no, so couldn't do that, but I just got all that unloaded. So I had my helper just go ahead and pop that off. Oh yeah, that turned out really good. I'm happy with that. Yeah, that turned out pretty good. I'll be able to sell that on eBay. That'll be easy to package, nice and flat. Somebody will hang that on the wall. And then I had him go ahead and pull the hinges off of this box over here. They are really cool old hinges. The box itself is pretty rusty, falling apart. But I really like these hinges, so those will sell, I'm sure. Boy, howdy. That's a big one. There's another one. You hungry? Yeah, give me a little bit of trash in here. All right, let's see what happens. Oh, my phone's ringing already. I can't get nothing done. Let's see what happens here. I'm hoping I can just pop the teeth right in there. Get a hold of it like so. Yeah, like that. That's pretty good. Old Milwaukee. There we go. There's a chunk of aluminum. Problem is I'm kind of far away from the aluminum box now. I have to spin it this way. Smash it down in there. It's way too windy for them to haul this today anyway. I guess I'll have to back up again. Do that again. That actually worked out pretty good. Tip the bucket all the way up like that. Kind of smash through there a little bit. Like so. Grab a hold of the aluminum. Pull it out of there. That one worked out even better. Oh yeah, this is no problem at all. This is working out really well. Oh, there's a carburetor in there. That might be something good. This is actually working out way better than I expected, to be completely honest. A little bit of aluminum cleanup on the ground, but that ain't a big deal. We can just get that by hand. I wish it wasn't such a mud pit. I'm kind of tearing the ground up, but such is life. Oh, there was a shelf in that one. I missed it. I wasn't paying attention. Somebody was driving by real slow staring at me. I was looking at them. And they pulled in here. Guaranteed wanting parts or something I don't have. Oh well. And now he's leaving. Okay, I guess let's whittle away on this roof a little bit, see what happens here. I'm hoping I can just get, I don't have to get all of it, but if I get most of it off there. I don't know if it's just a sheet of aluminum up there, if there's steel underneath it. I don't know what's up here, so. Oh, there's a little bit of wood in it. That's okay. This is good, clean aluminum. They can use a little bit of fluff. This box is full of dirty aluminum already now, so I'm actually just using this aluminum to get a little bit better price out of the dirty aluminum. I do that sometimes when I don't have a whole lot of clean. I just mix in a little bit of clean with my motors and just garbage aluminum. Not garbage, I shouldn't say that, but the not as desirable stuff. And it gets me a better price. It's a windy day today. I'll have to put something heavy up on top of this stuff because this stuff will go for a wild ride. There we go. Oh man, it doesn't want to come off of here. There it went. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get all this aluminum off of here, but this top aluminum doesn't weigh much. Most of the weight is these doors. See if I can just snag this a little bit and then rip it sideways. Like so. Oh yeah. Not a problem. Smash that down in there a little bit. Man, this stuff here is does not cooperate in any way, shape, or form. You know, we're just gonna kind of toss it back down in there a little bit and just let it sit like that. I'll smash something heavy down on top of it. Okay, now I'm gonna have to go to the other side of the trailer, it looks like. Door number 1. What's behind lucky door number 1? Nothing on this one. It's gonna be a little bit annoying having to drive back and forth like this. I probably could have put this box in a little bit better spot, but life goes on. Smash down this aluminum here. Like so. Kind of bring it together a little bit. There we go. And fold that over. And smash. Perfect. There we go. That's not blowing out. Whew. I have the controls backwards now because I drove in from the other direction, so now I got to push forward to go backwards. Okay, this one here is the one that has the other beer on it, so I'm going to attempt to save that. We'll see if I have any luck. I can bend it a little bit because I can straighten it back out. That's okay. I just don't want to destroy it. Oh yeah, that'll be no problem to go ahead and get that off there now. Well, that worked out good. Let's see here. How can I get that top off now though? Does that get her? There it went. I got it to drop down. So I can go ahead and grab this piece. Oh no, I'm too close. There we go. Oh, Milwaukee. Not really worth driving over here for this one piece, but oh well, I've already got it in the claw now. And in fact, before we do any more doors, let's go ahead and get the rest of this roof off of here. Because that needs to go underneath the other stuff. It's like a zipper. There we go. That's 90% of it. This isn't taking long at all, really. It's actually going way quicker than I expected. Now, I'm not gonna rip the whole thing apart just because I have nowhere to put all the steel yet. I'll wait till I have an empty dumpster here to finish it. But this will give me a rough idea of what the whole thing's gonna be worth. Gotta back up a little bit further. A little bit too close. This worked out pretty good. Having an excavator makes life nice. I wish I had a little bit different attachment on this excavator, but I mean, the more you know. We didn't know what we were looking for when we bought this thing. Wish we would have bought a little bit bigger excavator, not too much bigger, but just a little bit. This loader's, or the excavator is about $33,000. I wish we would have bought one a little bit closer to $40,000 because you can still haul that on a trailer. And then I also wish we would have got one that had the actual demolition grapple rather than a bucket with a thumb like this. There we go. Yeah, these doors have steel rollers on both ends, and that's what makes them dirty. So they're probably 99% aluminum. And these doors weigh about 50 pounds a piece, which is about what I was figuring. Let's see if I can get this last little piece out of here. Uh-oh, snag something. There we go. Well, good enough. Have to do the rest of that by hand. But yeah, there's 5 doors on each side, so that's roughly 250, about 500 pounds of aluminum. The roof really didn't weigh hardly anything, so we just won't even count that. So you say 500 pounds, and this stuff here, it's hard to figure an exact price on it because, you know, I'm using it to get more money out of the other stuff. So I'm not gonna make much on this, but I'm sacrificing 500 pounds to get more out of, you know, 10,000 pounds of other stuff. But you could say pretty easily around 50 cents a pound is what it's worth. So at 50 cents a pound times 500 pounds, that's about $250 worth of aluminum off of this trailer. Or a truck box, I mean. I keep calling it a trailer. It's a truck box. There we go. There's a couple little slats I'm gonna go ahead and pop out of this one. I'll go grab a couple transmissions later or something to put along this edge over here as well. So it'll be all right. Just make it as safe as possible. I mean, they do have tarps, but man, if one of these pieces blew off, that would sure hurt a windshield. So I just assume avoid that. There we go. All right. Yeah, the rest of this thing here, I think I can rip and mangle that apart for the most part, or at least smash it down flat. I can either try to make it fit in a box or I can put it in a semi. We'll just kind of have to see what it does, but that will be a job for another day. This thing's looking pretty good though. So if I get 50 bucks out of the beer things, that's gonna put me at $300 of aluminum type stuff off of there. So if the rest of it weighs 6,000 pounds, say, just to be safe, you're looking at about $600, so that's about 900 bucks. That's about what I figured. Gotta drive this bad boy back in. I wish I had a better place to put this thing. I don't like where I've been parking it at. It's kind of a pain to get in and out of there. But I haven't had time to finish my other projects out here yet. Like now, I got another phone call and I've got to go do something else. That's the 5th time today I've had to cancel everything I was doing to go do something else. Story of my life. Working a full-time job sure puts a dampener on my other plans sometimes. Yeah, I'll have to let it dry out a little bit, come in here and level this ground out. This is my mistake mud here. When I tore the house down, I brought in a bunch of clay mud, or clay dirt. It wasn't mud then, from the cemetery. And when it turned to mud, it messed everything up. Yeah, this will make a little bit more of a mess in the process of ripping it apart, but I think with the excavator, I should be able to bust it down. Should be able to get it all into an iron box, pretty simple, and have room left over. Like I said, I may keep the basic frame of it separate and put that in a semi-trailer, just because getting that apart might be a challenge. Yeah, here's the rollers that were in the doors. Not bad at all. But yeah, you can see here why it's so heavy. It's got all this steel, and actually it may be more than 6,000 pounds just looking at it, because I mean, that's a lot of steel. It's all steel framing. Pretty heavy, really. Got a Ford carburetor. This here looks pretty rough, probably just junk. Got an old torch, or what's left of a torch. I guess it's got the head on it. Some more torch parts in there. Gauges, regulators. So yeah, maybe a few good things out of there. Set the trash dumpster over there. I'll finish filling this in a little bit, but yeah, that trash dumpster over there, that thing has got a lot of just plywood and trash and whatnot laying inside it. So we'll clean it out, or let will clean it out when we get back. We have to run another errand real quick. I got that 348 over there, been sitting out here in the way, kind of. I told the guys, you know what, I'll just bring it out to you. He's got some stuff that I want too, so we'll do that real quick, and then we'll be back over here. All right, I had some guys come out and buy some Ford parts from me, so I was busy with that. But anyway, we were looking this stuff up, and this here, I was like, man, what is that? I couldn't quite identify it. Did a little bit of research, and this is for an M151, like military type thing. There's the M151A1, and I forget all the different models. But anyway, that basic type of vehicle, this is the differential. I found some NOS ones that are selling for about $600. So I don't know what an old used one that needs rebuilt is worth, but I mean, it's probably worth at least $100. As long as the gears are still good inside. You can buy all the seals and everything for these still. So there's another $100. The carburetor's worth about $30. The torch is probably worth about $20. So there's another $50 there. Left got it all cleaned out, swept out nice and, or pretty good anyway. That way I don't make a giant mess when I rip it apart the rest of the way. But it's kind of funny. There's 3 Chevy rally wheels here and then 1 Mopar rally. I don't know if they just didn't realize they saved the one mismatched rally or what the deal is. But anyway, I mean, those are probably going to be worth another $50 for the pile. These aren't the wide rallies, they're just the skinny ones, but they'll still sell eventually. These make really good trailer wheels because they're pretty strong wheels and you can haul some weight on them. They're just an all-around good wheel, and they look halfway decent when you dress them up with some beauty rings. So I mean, that's a couple $100 worth of extra stuff on top of the $900 scrap value, so that's about $1,100. To this point right here, I've got about, it's hard to figure because I mean, I was loading other stuff on the trailer at the same time, but I'd say probably a little under an hour invested in it. I will probably have at least, man, I don't know if that thing's gonna cooperate or not when I rip it apart with the excavator. They're supposed to empty my box tomorrow. We'll see if they do. But I'd say worst case scenario, counting the cleanup of the ground and everything when I'm done, and then selling all these pieces I pulled, probably another hour and a half. That's counting packaging and shipping the stuff. So I'll have about 2.5 hours invested in making about $700. Then I've got fuel to deduct as well, but honestly, fuel really isn't that much. That loader, I think, burns about 1.5 gallons an hour. The excavator doesn't hardly burn anything though. It is windy. It is crazy windy. Let me hop in the truck. Whew, man. I got one more guy supposed to come out here and drop something off. We'll see if he shows up. Anyway, even after expenses, I mean, you're probably making at least $600 for your time. So $600, that's $300 an hour, $250 an hour. It sounds like a lot when you think about it at first, but the mechanic, when they come work on the loader, charges that much an hour, plus a service call to come over and work on it. So anymore, if you're running heavy machinery or specialized equipment, things like that, that's about the going rate of what you got to make to stay in business. I can survive on a whole lot less than that, but a lot of today, I spent probably 3 hours a day on the phone or talking to people where I made $0. So if you spread out, it's going to take me basically 2 days, even though it's not actually a full 2 days of ripping that thing apart. It drops the dollars per hour way down. That's the thing about those businesses. People see you sell a load of cars and you get $3,000 or $4,000 and like, man, that's a lot of money. But they don't see the fact that you only sell 3 or 4 loads of cars a week, and then the rest of the week you spend your time processing cars or buying cars and spending money. So there's a lot of nuances to it, and it's hard to explain an entire business to people that aren't already involved in business. But I am definitely making money. I'm not trying to make it seem like I ain't making nothing on it. I mean, I'm in business to make money at the end of the day. If I wasn't making anything, I'd go fishing. But yeah, basically you could say when it's all said and done, about $600 profit. However you want to figure that on your time, you can figure it up however you want to do that. And part of that is just because I got lucky and found some bonus items in there. If it wasn't for those, it would have been quite a bit less than that. Like that metal box that we pulled the hinges off of, that box, I paid, what did I pay for that box? I can't remember now. I think it was like $200 is what I had to pay for that box. And the box is only worth probably $250. There's a motor inside it is why it's worth that much. So I would only make $50 for my time on that one, other than it's got those hinges that I can probably sell for $100 on it. And then also I had an empty spot on the trailer. And also, there was a bunch of small parts that I needed some way of hauling them home, an easier way. And so that made a really good container. So it saved me a ton of time being able to throw everything in that and haul it. So I wasn't out to make money on that box. I wanted to make a little bit but mostly it was about convenience, I guess is a way of saying it. So the old Milwaukee helps offset the cost of that one a little bit. But that's enough explaining how all this works. I guess I'll do some more explaining in a future video. I am gonna head home and get out of this crazy cold wind. Like now I'm out of the wind and it's hot. I get back in the wind and it's cold. But you can't wear a coat because every time you get out of the wind, you start sweating like crazy. Then you get back in the wind and it blows on you. And then now you're all sweaty and wet and then it's really cold. But anyway, I'm gonna head home. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. As always, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Hopefully it's not cold and windy wherever you are, but it probably is. It's just that time of year. We'll see you on the next one.